From preparing the fans for one final goodbye to leaving the fans heartbroken over CW's unfortunate decision. Here's how the Nancy Drew cast reacted to the show finishing up. The credits for Noga Landau and Melinda Shu Taylor will be rolling for one final time in 2023. That's right, CW's Nancy Drew has met its untimely end. The fans, the cast, the crew, basically, pretty much anyone ever associated with the show is grieving. The news of the show's cancellation hit us back in October 2022, and since then, the fandom has been devastated. But instead of letting the sadness take over, the cast and crew took this as an opportunity to say one final and amazing goodbye. In the form of Season 4, the star of the show, Kennedy McMahon, shared her thoughts, or lack thereof, on the situation. Now, don't think she didn't care about the show, 'cause actually, her reaction was everything you could hope for. When the news broke, it was no surprise that things were too much for Kennedy to handle. After all, she played the main character for 4 years. Kennedy took to Twitter and wrote, "Hi, I just learned about this a few hours ago, so it's all a lot and I need a minute. We hear you, sister, but hey, the actor wasn't going to let her feelings come in the way of being there for her fans." Her tweet also said, "I wanted to come here and say I love you." She thanked her fans for making it the best experience ever. And the actor promised one last thing. This final season is going to knock your socks off. Now, that's how you build suspense flawlessly. Kennedy even shared an emotional comeback on the last day of shooting. 17th of December 2022 marked the end of an era for the cast, the crew, and, of course, the fans of Nancy Drew. On the last day of filming, the lead actor kept her fans in mind and shared a photograph of herself from the first ever costume fitting for the show. How adorable is that? Fans soon flooded her comment section with positive thoughts. They even called her the best Nancy ever. That sounds about right. But she wasn't the only cast member heartbroken over this news. Leah Lewis's reaction also warmed the fans' hearts. The actor's portrayal of George Fane in the series soon became a fan favorite. It's really sad that we won't see that after Season 4 ends. Keeping this in mind, Leah tweeted, "All good things end eventually." But here's some silver lining. The actor enjoyed the show while it lasted. She even said, "What a gift getting to be in this universe for so long." Looks like even Lewis was looking forward to going out with a bang one last time. She said, "I hope all of you enjoy the last Season 4 of Nancy Drew." Like Kennedy, Leah also found it difficult to tell the world how she felt. Instead, she just wrote, "There are too many words for what this show has done for my life." Now, if you think she completely forgot about the fans, then that's not the case at all. In fact, she dedicated an entire tweet to them. The actor thanked the fans for making the show a success and even said, "You truly have helped bring these characters to new light and meaning with the way you've loved them and cherished them." Such a beautiful sentiment, am I right? Leah perfectly ended her tweet saying, "We love you. George loves you, as prickly as she is." Okay, let me just grab a box of tissues now. Who knew this video was going to become so emotional? Madison Jaizani, the actor playing Bess Marvin, also shared her thoughts on the cancellation. She tweeted to her thousands of fans saying the news was hard to digest, very surreal. Madison ended her message by saying, "We love you all and thank you for your undeniable support." It's a difficult time for everyone, but it's good to see that actors are only spreading love. Alex Saxon took to Twitter as well to share how sad it was to say goodbye to the show. The actor plays Nancy Drew's love interest Ace on the show, making him one to remember. When the news hit the stands, he took to Twitter and recalled the previous 4 years he had spent with the team, saying, "4 years in good company. To come out the same on the other side would be a travesty." He commented on how the season would finish its filming process in December and said, "Hope you'll close it out with us when our final season begins." Beautifully put, isn't it? Who knew our Ace was such a poet at heart? With all actors sharing such emotional messages, even Riley Smith couldn't help but put his feelings in a tweet. The actor plays Ryan Hudson on the show and has been an important part of the story. He tweeted, "On the last day of filming, it's hard to find the right words to say. Seems like the man had the time of his life, as he also said, What an experience I'll cherish forever. Well, 4 years of working together has got to leave a mark. The show's Carson Drew, played by actor Scott Wolf, also shared his thoughts on the news. And like his colleagues, he sent all his love towards the fans and commented on how grateful he was to have been a part of this journey for 4 years. He even remarked on how close the cast and crew were, saying he just loved them so much. Can you believe we won't see them goofing around on the sets? That's a tough pill to swallow. Wolf also mentioned the last season, saying he was looking forward to everyone seeing it. I don't know about you, but I've got bucket loads of expectations from the final season now. That's enough for the cast members now. I've got a few reactions from behind the camera to share with you, starting with the showrunners. Noga Landau and Melinda Shu Taylor released a statement when the news was released. They said, "Our hearts are full of gratitude, knowing that we are able to bring this chapter to a close with intentionality, inclusivity, and kindness." How wholesome. The statement also said that the two were proud to have brought Nancy Drew's iconic determination, individuality, and resilience to life in front of the camera. Well, I'm sure that many people are thankful they did that. Their version of Nancy Drew's familiar story was something that everyone admired, taking the detective everyone knew and loved and giving her story a supernatural twist. How clever is that? Noga Landau also shared the news on Twitter, saying that the time she'd spent working on the show were the best years of her life. One of the executive producers, Larry Tang, also shared a heartwarming message that had me weeping. Reflecting on the show even took Larry himself to some very emotional places. He revealed that it was his first ever pilot, saying, "You never forget your first." Tang thanked everyone who was a part of this incredible journey and called it a gift. The man didn't forget to thank the cast and his crew for all their efforts and praised their hard work and craftsmanship. That's pretty sweet, right? Guess what? Even the writers jumped on the bandwagon and shared their thoughts on the news. The official Twitter account for the Nancy Drew writers wrote, "As you might have heard, our 4th season will unfortunately be our last. The cast, crew, and producers send their love to each and every one of our amazing #Droods." Get this, the writers didn't want their fans to worry that with the show canceled, they'll just be getting over with the last season. Instead, they went in a completely different direction. The writers said, "Don't worry, we're going out with a bang." The tweet ended with, "Buckle in for a heck of a ride." And hey, that's exactly what we plan on doing, right? It's so sweet, though, that all of them kept the fans in their thoughts. Speaking of, it would be an understatement to say that the fans are devastated. As soon as the news was announced, they stormed the comment sections to show their displeasure. One Twitter user said, "They are literally canceling their best show on the network by far." Some hoped that Paramount Plus would be stepping in as their knight in shining armor, since CBS basically produced the show. But here's the thing, nothing of the sort has been announced yet, so I suggest that you shouldn't hold out much hope. Others said that it was over for the network, as it was completely useless now. But the funniest, and maybe the most concerning reactions of them all were the ones that hoped their other shows would flop. Seems like the fans are out for vengeance. Obviously, Nancy Drew coming to an end marks the end of an era. Chances are that if the reaction towards Season 4 is overwhelming, then some other network or streaming service might pick it up. So I guess there's still some hope. So on that note, from leaving the fans heartbroken over CW's unfortunate decision to preparing the fans for one final goodbye, this was everything on how the Nancy Drew cast reacted to the show finishing up.